This is Midday News with Rex. An inaugural grant of 4 million kina was presented to the Hiri Koyari MP, Kate Iduhu, for the electorate for the Central Province Government. The cheque presentation was made on Monday, July 10th. MP Iduhu acknowledged the Governor Peter for the appropriation. As a newly built, split electorate, there is a whole host of projects the local MP wants to get underway. Iduhu added that the assistance provided by the central provincial government will go a long way in strengthening the relationship and the dynamics that both district and province enjoy. Governor Peter stated that it is imperative that as a government, the new Hiri electorate gets the support it needs to establish itself and function. The governor also called on the national government to look at the appropriation for the new district in the 2023 budget and start releasing the funds. With an increase in crime rate at the Koki area in the nation's capital, it has been a crime hotspot as well as other which members of parliament are trying to control. On Sunday, 9th of July, Koki police station was launched and a firm warning was given to all residents in that area.
The opening of the new Koki police station on Sunday the 9th of July was a solution to controlling the increased crime rate at the Koki area in the nation's capital. The partnership between Governor for NCD, Powers Pakop, Member for Mosby South and Minister for National Events, Justin Kuchenko, Internal Security Minister Peter Siamalili Jr. and NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Chief Inspector Silva Sika saw to the establishment of this police station at Koki, which has been a crime hotspot for many years. Governor Pakop addressed the recent incidents in Koki, saying this sort of behavior cannot be tolerated in the city.
We are not going to tolerate this type of nonsense anymore. City and carrying name the picture, the image, the hopes of our people and our nation. Not just even now, but the many generations to come. Now you shall keep developing future long people like you, the generation that is going to come behind. And people are also you. People are also you, lawyer. It's a message you want to seriously from now on.
Pakop assured his support to the efforts of law enforcement and frustratingly stated that those involved in the attacks will be dealt with accordingly. He commended the local leadership for this initiative.
We have a cell, a holding block for about, you can probably squeeze about 20 people in there. We have a proper toilet and bathroom facilities for our police officers to change and to make sure they are ready for work every day. Because we have this big office space, we have the inquiry counter that is here for any inquiries to do with law and order. As the police commander said,
Kuchenko admitted it hadn't been a safe area over the past years and recently has become worse. He acknowledged Metsup Sika and the NCD command for keeping law and order at Koki. Jasmine Iru, TVWAN News.
The PNG Media Council of PNG today held its annual general meeting today at the Gateway Hotel in Port Moresby after several years of not holding an AGM. Significant for this AGM was the re-election of the current executives and a new addition of the Treasurer, Genesis Ketan, General Manager of PNG and Now FM. Continuing executives include the President Neville Choi, from Choi Vice President Gregory Moses of NBC, and Belinda Cora retaining the Secretary seat. The National Fisheries Authority has solidified its role as a key sponsor for the highly anticipated 75th Goroka Show by presenting a sponsorship check of 100,000 to the Goroka Society. The event serves as a platform for indigenous communities to showcase their rich heritage and traditions, fostering a celebration of Papua New Guinea's diversity and cultural richness.
The 75th Goroka Show has been backed with 100,000 kina of funding from the National Fisheries Authority. The check was presented to the Goroka Show Society by Jonathan Manieva, NFA Executive Manager of the Provincial Support and Industry Development Unit. Mr. Manieva highlighted the importance of the NFA's support for grassroots initiatives and the need for financial contributions to directly benefit the community. He stated that through NFA's Corporate Social Responsibility Program, it is an avenue to establish and maintain a strong connection between the NFA and people in the provinces. Goroka Show Society Chairperson Karine Hargreaves expressed her gratitude for the NFA's sponsorship and shared the Society's plans to make the 75th Goroka Show the most vibrant and successful event to date. She said the Goroka Show relies entirely on sponsorship, and every sponsorship received allows them to give back to the community. The 75th Goroka Show, scheduled for September the 16th and 17th, 2023, promises to captivate audiences with its extensive lineup of cultural performances from over 100 different groups. The event serves as a platform for indigenous communities to showcase their rich heritage and traditions, fostering a celebration of Papua New Guinea's diversity and cultural richness. The NFA extended its commitment to the event with a grassroots empowerment initiative in commissioning the weaving of 500 bilums by women from Goroka. These finely crafted string bags will be presented to international delegates attending the upcoming 8th Pacific Tuna Forum, scheduled to be held in Port Moresby from September the 6th to the 8th, 2023. Jasmine Iru, TV1 News.
To news in the region, governments have agreed to an improved set of climate goals for the shipping sector after vulnerable Pacific nations and threatened emerging economic struck a compromise at the talks London. After 2 weeks of negotiations, which Kiribati's neighbor described as challenging and distressing for everyone, negotiations at the headquarters of the United Nations Shipping Arm rose to applaud the agreement of the shipping industry's new climate strategy. At the International Maritime Organization, they agreed that the sector will aim to cut emissions 20% between 2008 and 2030, 70% by 2040, and reach net zero by or around, therefore close to 2050. The head of Victorian Health Department has been filmed telling staff the state government plans to cut hundreds of jobs in the health sector to help balance the budget.
Winter is here, but the cuts are coming.
The bulk of our savings and efficiencies need to come from sector.
This leaked video shows the head of the health department telling staff hundreds of full-time equivalent jobs must go.
$50 million annual savings from FTE ongoing, and that's equivalent to about 305 FTE.
No one knows if they're in the gun. No one knows if they're going to have a job by the end of this financial year. And I call on the government that that's a disgrace.
May's budget flagged 4,000 public servants would be axed. Now, what the CPSU calls a razor gang, a health finance board, will be set up to find efficiencies.
We have given that guarantee that frontline services won't be cut, but we are rebalancing the public sector back to pre-pandemic levels.
The use of the terminology frontline, back of house is so insulting, it just has to stop.
But it's not the only measure to bring the budget back under control. A parliamentary report has found Victorians will pay more property tax than anyone else in the country over the next 4 years.
They're slugging Victorians with new property taxes, which are driving up rents, driving up house prices and resulting in fewer homes.
Victorians will be charged more than $2,000 in land tax and stamp duty on average this financial year, compared to $1,600 in New South Wales and $1,300 in Queensland.
The ABS data shows that we are the second lowest taxing state in the country.
Just not when it comes to property.
Sir Elton John bid an emotional farewell to touring as he concluded his 5-year farewell Yellow Brick Road tour in Stockholm, Sweden. The legendary singer expressed his deep gratitude to the audience, calling performing for them his livelihood. The tour, which began in 2018 and was delayed for nearly 2 years due to COVID-19 pandemic, finally resumed in 2022. The final show featured some of Sir Elton's biggest hits, including Benny and Jets, Tiny Dancer, and Rocket Man. Reflecting on the tour, Sir Elton shared a video on Instagram highlighting memorable moments and thanking the fans for their unwavering support. The tour, which drew over 6.2 million attendees, has become one of the highest grossing concert tours ever, reaching a staggering $900 million in ticket sales. Sir Elton's farewell marked the end of an era in the music industry, leaving behind a legacy that will be cherished by fans worldwide. Smokers will be twice long as conceived compared to with non-smokers, but the majority of people don't know the risk. Mother of two, Sarah Lynch, said if they were aware of the harm, it helped them quit.
Will have a harder time falling pregnant than non-smokers, but what about people who vape? A lot of people think vaping is safer than smoking, but some e-cigarettes still contain nicotine and other harmful chemicals.
But only 1 in 5 people know that if you smoke, you are damaging your fertility. Have a drink.
Hobart mum of 2, Sarah Lynch, doesn't vape, but she used to be a smoker.
I knew smoking was not good for you trying to have a baby. I knew smoking was not good for you in general, but I didn't know it decreased your fertility.
Finished, close it.
Sarah wasn't able to fall pregnant naturally, so she turned to IVF. She thinks smoking may have been a factor.
Chemical, no exercise, overweight, age, many factors. Smoking, yes, many.
Sarah wants tobacco companies to do more to ensure people are aware of the risks. She believes cigarette packets are a great way to start.
Cancer, toes, lung problems, never fertility. I've never heard that.
Vaping has taken off and is now super common among people under the age of 25. But like smoking, a lot of people still don't know about the potential risks to fertility.
I mean, if vaping can affect the endothelial cells in your lungs, then it doesn't take much of a leap to imagine it having an effect on sperm and eggs.
Vaping does have some detrimental effect, which we should be very cautious on the use of vaping in young children. Yeah.
If you vape or smoke and are trying to get pregnant, doctors say the best thing you can do is either reduce your intake or quit.
In sports, United Brothers will have another crack at this year's Port Moresby Softball Premiership title when they face minor premiers Power in the grand final this weekend. Brothers proved too strong for Moni Plus Gazelle, beating them 8-1 in the elimination play-off to qualify for the big dance against Power. In the big grade, defense held off fast-finishing Kikila Cats at the bottom of the 8th inning to come out victorious 9-8. Defense will now meet Gazelle in the B-grade grand final on Sunday. A special funeral service is being conducted today for PNG athletes coach and administrator, the late Samu Sedi Sasama, at the Taurama Aquatic Center. Sasama passed away in Port Moresby last week after a short illness. He contributed immensely to sports in PNG as an athlete, coach and sports administrator. He indicated his time and effort for sports development and off the field of play until his passing. The late Samu was the manager sports excellence, a position based at the National Sports Institute in Goroka. Samu was left behind a gap that PNG Sports Foundation and the sporting fraternity will have a hard time to fill. He is remembered for his sincere, pleasant qualities throughout his career. And that's it for today.